So design and build course number 1. It's the first design course in this series. This is going to be an ongoing course. So if you sign up, guys, right now, yeah, there's just one course, but we are going to be putting up more material and designs as we go. So this initial course is going to be more of a beginner friendly course. So we're going to cover a design from beginning to end. We are going to use probably a property from like Zillow or Realtor, and use satellite imagery based on that property to get our initial measurements. And this is something you can do with your clients if you can't make it out to the property, or if somebody reached out to you maybe from out of state or out of town and they just want a design done. This is something you can do. We've checked the measurements in person, so I've done rough measurements on a satellite imagery, then I've gone out to the property to double check, and it's actually really accurate. I think I measured the perimeter of a pool, and I want to say it was down to like a half a foot, 6 inches. So for a general design purpose, that's more than accurate enough. And I'm going to show you how to take a screenshot of a property, throw it into Structure Studios and put it to scale, and then you could just design right on top of that screenshot. It's super handy. It's a really efficient way to go about it. And on that note, we are using Structure Studios. So you will need that program. You'll need a computer that runs that program well enough to just get a general design out. And I think if you haven't used it before, you will take to it pretty quickly. It's very user friendly as opposed to many other design programs like SketchUp, which is fantastic, but it's very time consuming. And then if you're a contractor and you have design changes, a program like SketchUp, it's very, like I said, time consuming to even just make design changes. So with Structure Studios, you'll find that making changes is super fast. It's a very efficient program, and I've been happy with it. The newer version of it as well, the renders look amazing. I mean, there's a couple tips and tricks I'm going to show you when you go out to render your video that you can make it even look more realistic, like the way you have the sun in the sky, how you can control that. Also using depth perception for a blur. I don't know the exact term for it, but you could basically put the foreground or background in a blur and focus on something. That creates a sense of realism, and a couple other tips and tricks. So let's get into the screen recording, and I'll show you this design process. All right, so we're gonna start our first design. Let's open up. Well, I already have it open. Structure Studios here. Let's go to a new file. So if you just downloaded this program, you'd be at your home screen will look a little different than what I'm on right now, because I already had it open. But anyways, new file. We're gonna call this design and build process, I guess. We'll call it process, start project, save changes, yes. All right, so again, this is, we're gonna try to treat this kind of like it's a fake project from a customer. So what I went ahead and did was I found a house on Realtor.com, kind of like I mentioned before, and this is the backyard view. Where's this house? It's in Whittier. So this is kind of fun, actually. So as you can tell, the front of this house actually isn't too bad. It's a cute little house, but it needs a lot of love, obviously. So it was kind of a simple house shape and everything, and I thought it'd be a good starter design. So the rear of the house is what we're mostly worried about. We're not even going to design the front of the house. So as you can see on the back here, if a customer contacted you and maybe sent you some photos, maybe you'd get something like this. So key features on the back here, obviously the 2 doors, couple windows, patio cover. In many cases, if a client reaches out to you and they want to redo their backyard, this patio cover would probably be redone. So maybe in our design we'll go ahead and throw a new patio cover on it. Again, I want to keep this video kind of on a basic level for people that have never used a program before, but that's pretty basic, so we'll take a look at that. And then I think with the program I'm using for this course, I could actually give you guys files. So I'll go ahead and maybe save some of these photos. If you guys wanted to do this design yourself at home, you could follow along. And so the address is 15220 Carnell Street. And actually, I think I have it open here already. Yeah, I do. So this is it on Google Earth. So just punch in Google Earth and hit the address like so. You'll get something like this, right? This is an interesting property. It's actually kind of a cool house. I kind of want to buy it. I wish I could afford a house in California. But this is a cool property. So it's on a corner lot, and so they have this cool like RV access on the side. For real projects, I always like to get on a street view too, so we could drop our little guy down here and just kind of take a look. It helps you get a better idea. So it's like they had RV access, and there was obviously like a garage or shed here at one time. You could see the foundation. So yeah, for our design, we'll have to decide if we want to maybe keep something there or maybe rip it out. I'm leaning towards maybe just cutting it out and just giving them a bigger backyard. I don't know. Maybe we could do like a little, maybe the next video we could do like a little mother-in-law quarters back there, or like a cool entertaining barbecue area. That could be a cool spot for it. But anyways, yeah, long story short, I do like to get in the street view and just kind of take a look at the house from that angle. But what we really want here, and the reason we're even doing this, can I get back? I'm hitting the wrong back button. We want to line this house up from top down view perfectly straight, as straight as we can get it. So basically like this, right? We'll exit out of this so our address goes away. And what we're gonna do, just because we're doing only the backyard, I'm just gonna get in here and zoom in on the backyard, right? Just like that. And then we'll take our screenshot, and you just want to get the area that you're going to be designing in. So I don't know, we'll get something like this and go ahead and save that. Let's go. I'll just save that and this guy. So what are we in? We're 5 minutes in. I hope I'm not going too slow. I'm trying to show you guys kind of the bread and butter if you've never done this before. So if you are more experienced, I'm sorry, it's probably kind of boring for you guys, but we will do definitely more advanced stuff as we go. This is just our first kind of experimental course here. Okay, so we have our file open. Now the next thing we want to do is we're on project information up here. Let me move my little face, can I? Yeah, cool. We want to go scroll down, and you want to go to, no, not scroll down, go here to background. And we want to go to wherever we save that file, that screenshot. So I have it in my courses here, screenshot, boom. And it's going to open it up like this, and you could design right on top of the screenshot. What I like to do is go down, so now you want to scroll down, and now your background appears on the bottom here. Take your opacity down to probably around like 20, yeah, 25 or so. That way you can see your lines as you're designing a little bit better. The next thing we want to do is set the scale. So right now, I'm sure this image is not to scale, and what is 10 feet in our design on this image might be like 30 feet. So what we want to do is go back to Google Earth, and that's what's cool about this program. Oh, that's messing with me. There we go. You want to take a component on this screenshot here, or on Google Earth, that you could then go and measure in our design file. So I'm going to take a measurement from, let's just go from the street. You want to have a clear section. Let's go from the street. I think that's in the screenshot, and we'll go to the very edge of this guy. Let's switch it to feet because that's what I do. So we're at we're right between 55 and 56. We'll call it 55 feet. All right, so that's 55 feet. We'll go back to our file here. Oh, perfect. I do have it showing. Increase the opacity just for this part. We want to go down to set image scale, and you could zoom in a little bit to get a little more detailed. Try to hit the same spot. Boom. To the very edge of that guy. So it's 77 feet on our design. We want to call it 55 feet. It's going to adjust the image size, so now it's accurately spaced for you, or sized for you rather. And now we could just design right on top of this. So you can see the little kick out here. That's obviously where their patio cover is, because the house is just rectangular from what I remember. Yeah, so that's just a straight wall at the back. Overhangs, this is one thing I need to get down a little bit better. Overhangs on roofs, if you just go on the file here and measure the house, well, the house is a little bit smaller than the roof overhang, obviously. I want to say it might be like 1.5 feet or 2 feet overhang in most cases. Maybe not that much. I got to find that out. So anyways, when you do go in to draw the house, which let's just do it right now really quick, just keep that in mind. You don't want to go the exact dimension of the roof. You want to kick it in a little bit. So one thing you can do is just go to the roof to make it simple. And you could just use your best judgment. Like, it's basically like you wouldn't do 45 and 4 inches, you know, just call it 45 feet. The back of the front of the house doesn't matter too much. Now if you take a side of a house like this and you just move it, it'll skew it. Hold down shift and it'll keep it nice and straight for you as you move it down. Just a little trick for you. Now we're at 45, so let's bring this side into 43. Let's bring it in 2 feet. Let's go 43.5. I'm gonna bring this side in 42. Boom. And then the back side here, I'm just gonna eye it. Just bring it in a tiny bit more again. Cool. Okay. So that's a base for our house. Let's get in here and just kind of see what we're working with here. Obviously the roof pitch and stuff isn't accurate, but that's the footprint of our house. Okay, so in this case, we didn't really talk about client needs and client desires for their design, because this is a fake project. So let's say this customer just reached out to us and they just bought this house kind of in a dilapidated state, and they want to redo the yard. They want to close off their fencing, maybe we'll put a gate over here. Maybe they do still want to you know what, yeah, let's put a garage over here. Let's do that. And let's check our dimensions. Did I set myself up for failure? So from the house to the garage we have like 33 feet, so minus 10, 23 feet. I think we could fit a nice little pool and spa back here. So what we'll do, is let's throw a garage at the back here. We're not going to do a patio cover here, I don't think. What we'll do instead is we'll do a kind of a rectangular pool with a spa on one end. I'm thinking at the back of the garage on this side would be a cool spot for a patio cover, with maybe some cool seating, a bar, and maybe like a TV back here. Because the garage is there, that acts as a nice point to connect it to. And that opens up all of this space for concrete and the pool and spa. So that could work pretty good. Let's just see how it goes. Since we're in the building mode, let's just throw a garage over on this side. We'll try to, we'll call it 20 feet wide for the garage. What's the average length of a garage? Like 24 feet for the length? Seems about right, huh? Yeah, we'll call it 20 by 24. We have our block wall here, and that continues down on this side. Block wall at the back that continues on that side. Yeah, that's cool. And then so we're in house mode. That's about all you need to do in house mode at the moment. We'll go in and kind of make these look a lot better, but just to give you a visual of what we're looking at here. That's what we're looking at. And the next thing I like to do after I get my house in is I like to get my walls, the fencing in. So go to walls, fences, and railing. Right there. My computer's slowing down a little bit. I don't know if you guys experienced that or not. This computer was super fast when I got it about a year ago. It's already slowing down, so I don't know if I need to go through and delete storage or what. Anyways, so yeah, I'm on wall, and that's going to create a wall as it implies. And what's cool is you could set the thickness of the block and all that good stuff. So let's go in, and again, we're just going to kind of eye this stuff. Let's get our wall right there. We just have to kind of eye where it is. Let's call it 16 feet. So I like to just type in 16, hit tab, and then hit -180. That's going to make it perfectly square, or you know what I mean, perfectly straight. Now we'll go down here. I don't know where this exactly ended in real life on the house. Let's just find out. Let's just do it the right way. Go over here, take a look. So it looks like the wall ends at more or less the front of the house. So what we can do is I'm going to hit 70, tab over, -90. That's going to bring us straight down. I'm going to kind of eye what it is to the house. It's 13 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to type in 13. Whoop. 13 space 6, and then hit 0 for that guy. It's going to just draw it straight over to the house, and then I'm going to exit off of it. It's probably offset from the house a little bit anyways. What I'm talking about is more this distance here. For this guy, we could just tab over and just connect it to the house. Now for this, let's just bring it down so it's literally at the front of the house, even though it probably isn't that far. The width of our wall, just select your wall, come over here and look at our height is 12 feet. That's huge. Let's go to 6 feet. We'll go with a 6 foot wall. The width of our wall, most walls are probably 6 or 8 inch block. So let's just call it 6 inch or 8 inch. Let's see what we're working with right here. So our block wall is made of wood, so we'll fix that. But that's looking pretty sweet. I like this space right here. It's going to be an awesome spot. Let's continue this fencing. Let's just knock it out. I'm going to go back to this file or this program and look. Whoop, sorry. Here we go. I'm going to kind of measure approximately how wide this distance is. Okay, so I just had my first annoying experience when I went over to hit the I can't believe this happened. I got to make sure I'm paying attention to my recording length. When I went over to hit the the measure tool that's right at the stop button on my, you can't see it, but it's for my screen recorder. And so I I stopped the screen recording and I didn't know it, and I already had like the pool and spa and everything laid out. Anyways, so now that I'm going to do it the second time, hopefully I'll be faster and I can explain it better. But anyways, let's go back. Not a big deal. We can do this. So I'll go back to walls here. I'm trying to remember exactly where I left off. I think this is the stage I had left off at. So we're going to go to our line tool, measure out our wall. We're going to go 4 feet off the house here, and just bring it up to the top of this other fence, like where it 90s, and you just want to get an approximate. We'll call that 95 feet. Type it in, hit tab, hit 90 to bring it straight up. And then with this wall, again, like we said before, it seems like they had a garage here at one time, and it probably ended right at the end of this wall. So we'll call that 40 feet just to get approximate. Tab over, do negative 180. That's going to bring it perfectly straight over. Okay, so that's pretty good. When it comes to swimming pools, we really have to be aware of setbacks with swimming pools. So when you go in to put a pool in this backyard, you have to worry about setbacks from your from easements. I hate easements. And setbacks from dwellings or structures and property lines. So a common setback dimension is 5 feet. We'll roll with 5 feet. We'll call it 5 feet off of this garage here. Negative 90. I'm thinking we'll center the pool kind of in the yard here. So that's the setback we're worried about. We're not worried about the house setback because I know I'm not going to get within 5 feet. We would be 5 feet off of this fence too, but I don't think we're going to get that close either. So this is the main thing I'm worried about here. Let's go ahead and go to pool mode and get a basic pool size in. Pools nowadays are a lot smaller than they had been in the past, like in the 80s and even before that. People built huge pools. A lot of pools nowadays are not that big, so I think for this guy we'll do like a 15 by 30, which is a decent sized pool. Let's see, I always look at one side of the measurement and just get it where I want it, end it, and then pull the other side over. $15 by $30. Okay. Obviously in this case we have to really think about placement for this pool. A lot of things come into play with placement. For instance, we don't know this house, but if we did, you would want to know, hey, what door off the back here is either a kitchen like main door or a living space main door or like a laundry room. You wouldn't want to center the pool off the laundry room door, obviously. Another thing to keep in mind is, where is the entertaining space going to be? You could do so many. That's the cool thing about design, is there's not really a right or wrong way to do it, and people have different needs and preferences. So I'm thinking it could be kind of cool off the back of this garage to have a covered patio with maybe like a barbecue and cool seating area. So with that in mind, a person might be inclined to take the pool and like center the edge off the edge of the garage, which is cool. You could do that. But there's one factor that I would just recommend you think about. So if you do designate an entertaining space, keep in mind the socializing aspect. So if you are, like, let's drop in here really quick. If this is like a barbecue area here and an entertaining space, if you're sitting back here, anybody swimming, we're going to throw a spa on this too, and that will make more sense in a moment. but anybody sitting back here is kind of removed and isolated from the rest of the party if you're having a gathering or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kick the edge of this pool and spa over. And you know what? Let's just center it with this side of the garage. So I'm just going to use my arrow keys again and get it close to the edge of the garage. I'm talking about this distance here. This could be a good spot for maybe a gate. Or maybe it's not needed if there's like a door into the garage. Now 15 by 30, that's good. So let's go to a spa. Rectangle. A standard size spa is 7 by 7. Let's see how that looks. So we have a 7 by 7 foot spa. Just try to get it lined up as good as you can. One thing Structure Studios is really cool about is if you don't have something perfectly lined up, it's not going to completely mess it up. It kind of tries to fix it for you in a way. So 7 by 7 foot spa there, that's going to leave us a nice space here for a Baja shelf. Now we have 7 feet on the spa, and then there's a common wall here, a dam wall, that's approximately a foot wide. I'd say 9 inches to a foot, especially once you get coping or something on it, maybe even wider than that. So let's go to steps. We're going to add some steps on this. Go to rectangle tool and just draw. We're going to draw a nice big Baja shelf on this. It's not that big actually. We're going to do 7 foot wide by 6 feet. It's a good sized Baja shelf actually. There we go. Just got nudged down a little bit. Let's kick that up. Okay, so really quick, the depth of the Baja shelf. We have it at 10 inches. That's actually probably about perfect. So if your Baja shelf, you want it to be the main step down into the pool, you want to keep it about 10 inches because that's going to be your top step essentially, right? If you wanted a deeper Baja shelf, you could kick it down to like a foot to a foot and a half, and then maybe have like a little entry step into the Baja. I kind of like these big, shallow entry steps though. So off of this Baja shelf, you have two options. You could make the whole Baja shelf the open space here. That would be like 8 feet, and then have steps going down off of it. I kind of like having all my shapes contained and really clean and neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my steps come off of this Baja shelf, just like that. We'll kick that to like a foot and a half depth or so. The depth of the steps, you don't have to get too hung up on them, guys, just as long as it looks good for the render. Obviously, when you go to make your site plan and call out different things, normally bench depths aren't even called out on site plans from what I've seen. But that's a key component you need to address, obviously, out in the field. So there's one step. I'm just going to copy it and paste it again. And it's going to be nice and flush with the edge of that spa. It'll look really nice. And I'm going to make that just like an additional foot deeper. Let's see how that's looking. Looking pretty good. Now our deep end is on this side. We'll fix that in a little bit. I think that's a nice little shape. I try to do something different than I normally do. I do a lot of designs where I have the rectangle pool, and then off the end of the rectangle I just have a big spa that's like raised up that pours into the pool, which is a fun design. It's awesome because it creates kind of a water feature effect. But I just want to change it up a little bit. And then now what I was talking about earlier, as far as like socializing, now we have our spa. I mean, it's in an awesome location because if you're sitting back over here barbecuing, watching the game, your friends are in the spa, you can still talk and communicate with one another. You're not isolated. So that kind of ties the whole space in, and that's something you need to think about with your designs. If you had a cool area, a big area over here, and you put your pool and spa there, that's great, but maybe you'd want to put your barbecue and living area over here as opposed to back here. So just keep that stuff in mind. Again, every customer and client's different. They're going to have different requests and considerations. So with our spa, one thing we could do really quick, let's go to spa mode. Actually, let's just throw some steps in the spa really fast. So select the spa and then go to auto pool steps. This is actually a handy tool. Make sure you're on normal. It's gonna just bring your cursor to the edge of the spa and select it, and it'll slap that in there for you. The next thing you want to do is select that anchor and then just drag it all the way around the pool. Just like that. I'd go about 1.5 feet, maybe a little bit deeper on the bench height. Again, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a render. We'll go ahead and throw in a little entry step. You just want to get it as center as possible. And you'd probably even have an additional step, but we're good. This is good for what we're doing. And we'll make that top step basically the same as the Baja, like 10 inches. And these little details, it's important not to get hung up on, guys, because it's just going to slow you down, and this already takes a lot of time. Especially if you're doing free designs for clients, you really got to kind of run through them. I do a lot of designs for my dad. My dad's a pool builder in Central California, and it's a different market up there. Pools are a lot less expensive, and a couple years ago, he built 94 pools in 1 year. That's insane. So you can only imagine the amount of designs he's doing, hence why I help him with them. So a lot of those designs, I hate to use the word cookie cutter, but they're kind of cookie cutter. We just turn them out really fast. On my pools down in Southern California, it's a lot different, and I spend a lot more time on my designs. Anyway, sorry for rambling there, but I think this is a nice interaction between the covered patio area we'll do over here and the spa. Okay, so next step, man, my laptop's overheating. It's having a hard time. Hey, by the way, if that happens to you, this little button up here, you can hit that. Maybe I'll do it quick, and it makes the render look kind of shit, but it allows the computer to work a lot faster, and it's less hard on the computer. So you can do that just while you're designing, just to speed up your system. Okay. I kind of like when it looks nice though, even when I'm just working on it. Okay, so the next thing you want to think about, we have our placement for the pool and spa. The next thing you want to think about is your hardscaping around the pool. And then we'll look at the pool finishes and everything. And we'll throw a spillway on the spa. I'm kind of thinking maybe we could do some cool stepping pads over on this side leading to the barbecue area. 2023 stepping pads for the past couple years, for a long time, have been really popular, and I think they will be for a long time. Some people get really creative with their stepping pads, and I would err on the side of caution with that, unless the customer they just don't care. But I always advise my customers to err on the side of kind of keeping it classic, because it's just less likely to go out of style. If you do something super unique, it's a lot more likely to go out of style. Something to keep in mind. So maybe we'll throw let's just see here. Let's go into 2D mode. And let's look really quick at our image here. Now I don't know what door is more of the living space door. It's kind of a roll of the dice. Maybe, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe this one. So let's act like that one is the main door. So we have 2 doors, 3 windows. Again, when you throw in your doors and windows, don't spend too much time on it. Just make it look close enough. Unless it's like a $400,000 project and it's worth the time. But in most cases, the customer's not going to care. if the door is off by like 2 feet. So anyways, I'm just kind of looking at this, keeping that in mind. It hasn't really changed my mind much in any way though. I don't think we're going to do a patio cover here, so it's just going to be open. Let's just go to our hardscape mode. And let's take a look at some stepping pads. One thing you want to do is keep things symmetrical the best you can, right? So if we throw a stepping pad, I'm just thinking here. If we throw a stepping pad, let's see. This could be kind of cool. A little different, but kind of cool. 10 feet by like, let's go like 2.5 feet. Is a 10-foot pad too big, concrete guys? I mean, you'll know. Is that okay to do that without having a joint in it? It's probably a little too big, huh? Let's just do it anyways. We'll go 11 feet. Nah, we'll do 10 feet and do a planter. 10 feet and a planter by 2.5 feet. Now take that shape, copy and paste it. Now you could also just hit Command C and Command V, or Control, excuse me. So just drop it kind of where you think it looks cool. Command V again. I'm going to show you a cool tool that will help you keep things nice and neat. Now we have 5 in there right now. That's probably as much as we're going to get. So I'm going to line my stepping pad up. I don't know. How do I want to do this? I'm going to line it up with the edge of the coping. I hope my music's not too loud in the background. And I hope I'm talking loud enough. Let's bring these guys down. It's kind of a weird spacing. So let's just see. Select all of them. Go over here, and this will allow you to arrange things. So you hit the center button. It's going to line them up all perfectly, and then distribute vertical. It's going to space them out. Now just select off of it. Roll over to the 3D mode. How's that looking? It's not too bad. It's kind of cool. I think if I were to be kind of anal about it, I'd make them a little bit wider. Let's go 3 feet with it. Delete those. Turn off coping. This inside line means that it has coping turned on. Turn those off. And just slap some down again. Now, because that cool tool exists, you actually don't need to line these up too perfect, because you can use this tool, center, distribute. Now that's a lot tighter though, isn't it? Is it too tight? I think it's too tight. Let's measure it. That's way too tight. Okay. So I'm gonna annoy you guys. I'm sorry. Let's delete it. This is what you have to do though, right? Let's go to like 2 feet 8 inches. I know it seems probably not that important, but I don't know. You want to do things the right way. Select them, center, vertical. Let's kick them out. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. So we'll do that for that area. Off the house, I'm thinking we do just some big, like a big concrete section. Like,
goes like that. And it's good to bounce around between the 2D and 3D a lot to see kind of how your design's looking. Let's extend this concrete all the way to the edge. Let's take these pads, and you know what? Let's just go wider with them. Okay, I'm gonna change it up a little bit more. Let's bring these all the way down. I think aesthetically that might look kind of cool. So we'll keep it off the house a little bit. It might mess our alignment up with the pool from being perfect, but that's alright. Actually, it maintained it pretty nicely. Let's see here. Let's get that in. Now, actually what we'll do, we're not going to have a turf strip in front of the deck and pool. Let's just go full concrete. Like that. Give them some deck area off to the side here. Maybe not a ton. Maybe they could have some grass or something off to this side. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, that's cool. And you guys might be thinking what I'm thinking. I think we just throw another pad, go all the way up. I think that's definitely going to mess with our alignment with the pool. Yeah, for sure. But so what? Let's do it. Alright. Not too bad. So I'm kind of doing what I said earlier, doing some weird stepping pads. But it's fun. I don't know. It's just a creative concept. We could throw some cool lights in here or something. It's kind of funky. I don't know. It's just all an experiment, right? The cool thing about doing a project that's not for an actual client is you could get really creative with it. I'll show you another cool thing. So we're in our concrete mode here. Go ahead and just draw a shape off the same edge. We'll want concrete all the way here. Dude, how long is this video gonna be? I better pick it up. You can select that shape, hold control, select that shape, and then come down here and hit union, and that's gonna make it one shape. And then the other thing we'll do is we'll do that again. We'll do it right here. Right? Select it, hit union. Right now it looks a little funky kinda, but I think it'll look cool once we get the patio cover in. I don't know, it's different for sure. Let's go into our pool, and I really like the look of black mini pebble or a dark colored pebble, and since we're doing just kind of a gray concrete around, I think that'll look nice. So I go to my scale and just hit so I'm in material mode, hit select matching, it's going to select all the pebble. I bring my scale down because I use mini pebble. I bring it down quite a bit. Bring down the saturation to nothing, and then bring down the darkness to something like that. And that basically replicates a black mini pebble. You don't want to go like full black because it's going to show them something that it won't look like in real life. If you've ever seen black mini pebble, it does looks a little more like this. It's a little bit lighter. You could bring the scale down maybe a little bit more. But I mean, I think that's looking pretty cool. Another thing you can do is you could do like a black pebble in between these stepping pads. Because we're going to have a covered patio here, and I'm going to make it black, I think, we'll keep the green in there just to kind of separate it a little bit. But one thing you can do to just up the level of realism a little bit is go to hardscaping again. Go to rectangle and just draw a rectangle that kind of encompasses this whole area. Like that. I guess we're not doing a planner here anymore. And just make sure it fills the whole area just like this. Okay. This is cool right here. I think most of you guys, if you know this program, you probably know that, excuse me. But you might not know it as well. So we're selected on this. Go to height and go negative 1.5. Now that brought that whole section down a little bit. And the reason I did that is we're going to go to material, select it, go make sure you have earth as an option that's open, and we're going to select some turf. So go to synthetic. You can see that little blue icon, that blue star. That's a favorited item. So items I use a lot, I hit that, and then there's a little tab down. I can move my face, that's cool. There's a tab here where all that stuff will be available for you for easy. Dude, this is like the perfect spot for the face. All right, so the turf is in there. As you can see, it doesn't look that cool because it's super flat looking, and this is the way the old program was. This is all you can do, but now that has 3D grass. Hit that and check that out. That's pretty cool. I mean, for this program, that's pretty sweet. And the reason I brought the height down to 1.5 inches is because if I didn't, this grass would be really tall, and so that creates more of a realistic look how artificial turf looks in that case. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty sweet. Let's really quick throw a patio cover here, and the way I make my patio covers is a really popular patio cover now is like a Luma wood or 4K aluminum. Go to custom shape and pergola. I'm gonna try to pick up the speed a little bit because I feel like I'm taking too long. I don't want to bore you guys to death. Hit rectangle. You're just gonna draw the footprint of your patio cover. Looks like I messed up a little bit. We could fix that. I'm just going to fill this whole space. I'm sure there's a setback that I need to follow for that. The height of this, go to like 6, first of all, not 15 feet. Go to like 6 inches. So pop it to like 6 inches right there. And this is more or less going to replicate like the thickness of a patio cover. I don't know the exact thickness, but that's just what I roll with. We'll go like that. It's pretty good. We'll go like that. And this might be okay. Let's check it out. We're gonna go to rectangle again on custom shapes, and we're just gonna draw a post in here. Like, whoop, I'm on the wrong tool. We'll just do like a 6x6. I don't know the exact the widths of patio cover posts either. There's a lot of stuff I just kind of fudge. So we'll go 8 inches on the width, and then it's probably like 9 feet tall. Let's go up to 9 feet and see how that looks. And the reason I'm doing only one right now is because I'll just copy and paste it. So we're sitting on top of that. Go down here to auto elevation. Oh, it's off. Huh. So I was at 9 feet. It's actually a little bit taller. Let's go just up by the inches, just until it intersects with it. Again, I'm sure there's like a setback. Let's just line our posts up with the edge of this the stepping pad. So we'll just do something like that. Copy, paste it right there. And because it's attached to the house here, I'm going to roll with the idea that it doesn't need posts on this side. This may be realistic, it may not be. You may end up needing some posts, but I think this is actually doable. It just depends on how the garage is set up right there. You might need to do it underneath the fascia. I don't know exactly. Alright, so I think you can see why I didn't do like a black pebble in here. I think the turf kind of breaks it up nicely. And I think our stepping pads actually worked out pretty good. The location of them. Now, we've made quite a bit of progress. Let's see. Let's put a barbecue. Let's do a barbecue in here. And this worked out pretty cool. The shape of this is working out pretty cool. You could probably hear my computer. The fan is just kicking right now. Again, my computer's been kind of messing up lately, but it's also because I'm screen recording, I think. Hardscapes. Go to rectangle. Now, there's, so many different ways to create items. So you might have a way, if you know of any other cool ways to do stuff different than what I'm doing, if you guys have access, which you should, to the design community tab, share it with me and let me know. I'd love to increase my knowledge, because there's some of you guys, I see you on Instagram, your designs are amazing and your builds are amazing. So more than anything, I want to learn from you guys. You probably have more to teach me than I have to teach you. So this is more of a learning process for some people, and for others, you probably already know all this. And if you do, thanks for being patient with me. We'll hit union on those two shapes, and we'll bring it up. We'll bring the height up to like, what's the average height of a counter? Like 32 inches or something? I don't know. Let's see. No way, it's way taller than that. Again, some things you just eye. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to like go just do this. I'm not gonna lie. What's the height of a counter island? 36 inches. Let's look at this diagram. 41 to 43 inches for that section. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's go back here. That's more or less where we are. Let's just keep it like that. Now think about the shapes that you're building, because this L shape is cool, because you could do some bar seating on this side. Now you want to make sure you give your clients enough space to have some bar stools here without like tripping. So I would just move this whole shape up a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, like that. Now let's look at some materials here. Let's keep that in mind. I think for the countertop, let's just do we'll go square, and we'll go 3.5. If you're using a 2x4 to form your concrete, it's most likely going to be 3.5 inches thick. So let's do that. Take this concrete material, hit Command C, then select the countertop, hit Command V. Now we pasted our concrete material on this. This is a broom finish concrete, which you definitely wouldn't do on a countertop, but for now it's fine. Let's select the face of the barbecue. Let's go to stone, which I have selected. So let's find a nice stone. You could play with all the different stones. There's a lot of different options in the program. Because our pool is black and really clean lines, I recommend going with, you could use a stone, but I would use a simple stone, a simple stack stone, which I kind of like. Which one do I use again? I like this one. It's just called white, and then you can make it black with the colors over here. So I mean, that's kind of cool for what it is. For right now, our tile in the pool, we have like a gray 1x1. It looks like right now. It's not bad. You could go with, so select the tile, hit select matching. I'm gonna turn this down because my computer's dying. Hit select matching, and then you can play with the colors. Obviously, that's black on black, which I actually kind of like that. That's cool. You can see what white looks like. Doesn't look bad. That black and white look is really popular right now. Really quick, let's do this. Let's go to our spa. Wait for it to load. Hit insert spillover, and you just want to line up that top line with the edge of the spa. I'm talking about this line. And then once you set it, select this anchor point, and then just drag it over, kind of like we did with the steps. Whoop, see, I went too far. You don't really want to do that. You want it to be as straight as possible, like that. Now we'll have a overflow into the pool, which is sweet. The water flow is like kicking on this. Is there a way to adjust that? I think there might be. I don't know. It's not a big deal though. Let's see. Covered spillway, water flow, pressure. Oh, you could turn off water flow. I didn't know that. I think water flow is cool. Maybe just bring it down a little low. Yeah, I think you gotta have some water flow. Covered spillway. You see those every now and then, but obviously it's not the whole thing. It would just be an area. You don't see those too often anymore. The lip height. Oh, okay, so that's, you don't really need to mess with that. I'd keep it like that. Sorry about that, I'm kicking stuff. This stuff over here is a little more advanced, and so if you have like a perimeter overflow, you would use a reverse negative edge. I'll just show you really quick what that looks like. And you would adjust the angle dramatically. You probably do more like 10%. And what that does is that creates a flow over the edge of a spa, like if you had it raised up. You see those really cool kind of monolithic looking spas wrapped in like marble or stone? Well, they have this kind of overflow where the overflow is tapered in a negative angle. Does that make sense? You know what I mean. And but it's not super dramatic, and what it does is it creates a water overflow that hugs the wall of the spa instead of cascading it off the face. Now when you take that angle, instead of like this and kick it the other way, or even flat or kick it the other way, it'll shoot the water off the edge of the spa. And in some cases you maybe want that. Like I've seen some water features at malls and different things that have that, and it creates a really cool water, like a little sheet of water coming off the spa. So in this case, we're just going to do a normal spillover, just flat, 90 degrees. This happens sometimes. I don't know what's going on over here. Let's see. Go to hardscape. It normally just gets, you can normally just fix it if you just mess with the height. I'm not sure what's going on here. Negative 1.5. Go to 2D. Go back to 3D. it's fixed. That happens sometimes. How do you guys feel about the white tile? I don't know. The tile options aren't super in depth on this program. I think if it were my pool, even though black tile is a bitch to keep clean, I kind of lean towards having black tile. Let's see how that looks. I mean, I think that looks kind of sweet, because it is going to be blacker than the pebble. Because again, the black mini pebble isn't always very, very black. It's more like that. I think I'm rolling with the black. So let's do that. The countertop. I don't know. They don't really have good concrete options on this program to show what it would look like as like a polished concrete surface. So there's not a lot of options for that. You never see salt finish decks anymore. That looks kind of cool, even though that's not very practical. That looks kind of cool though. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do for the sake of this? Let's go with a stone. Let's go with a stone, and then maybe this is white. And our concrete, select matching. Let's make our concrete a little bit darker to get some more contrast off of that white stone. Let's see how this looks. Let's go with the stucco on our house. Let's make it a white house. I copied the material over. You want to change the color. Of everything to make it match. So that's like pure white stone out here. Let's make it just as white. Our block walls are wooden. I forgot about that. So let's make these actual block. I believe the block is under pavers. This is a long video. Gosh. I'm hoping for you guys who are learning this program, this is beneficial. I understand a lot of you guys, if you know the program, it's probably a little boring and slow. I'm sorry if that's the case. I'll try to have some better, like more advanced videos in the future as well. Let's go down to pavers. I could have sworn they had block. Yeah, here we go, walls. We'll just keep it a gray. You know what would look killer? You know what? Let's just do this. We're stuccoing the walls. Yeah, we're going to stucco the walls so they match the house. So we're going to go white. It's a lot of white though, huh? The concrete, I'm not liking that I made it darker. Let's go a little bit lighter again. Get that contrast. That's looking a little bit better. The stone on this. Do we go black, guys? What do we do? Maybe like a gray. Let's go like a dark gray for right now. I'm not used to designing with people watching, or you guys will be watching, so I'm kind of going a little brain dead. Alright, so go to favorites. Well, you won't go to favorites, but I have it in my favorites. Actually, we got to go to items right here. Now this is the items tab. Here is where you're going to get all your plants, all your items to kind of quote unquote decorate the design. Now in my favorites, I have my drain covers. You could just go to items and find them. That's the name. So you would type in anti-entrapment or just whatever. You'll find them. Again, a lot of companies don't put all this detail in their designs, and I don't blame them. Let's copy those. Oh, look at that. That's a bummer. What do you think happened? Let's see what happened. Let's see. I don't think I've been hitting save. I might need to redo this. Edited 1 hour ago. Oh my gosh. Nothing saved. Okay guys, so I went ahead and rebuilt this design. As you practice, you'll get a lot faster, and that sucked, but it's not a big deal. So anyways, I lost my design. I didn't hit save, I guess, that whole time, which was stupid. When I rebuilt this, I had a couple other ideas. I thought it'd be cool to kind of change up the barbecue face. I'm gonna go down to the wood section, and I thought maybe some horizontal wood slats would be cool. So in your material panel, you can rotate your pattern over here. So just hit 90 degrees. It'll flip it over. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Something like that. Desaturate it. I did a design a while back for an interior designer in Newport for her house, and she had this wood on the outside of her house that was like charcoal, like burned wood. It was super cool. It looked awesome. Obviously, it had that kind of a matte black look to it, and I guess because it was burned, it also keeps like pests from wanting to eat the wood. And anyways, that's kind of what I'm trying to replicate on this, more or less. Looked pretty cool, so that's what I'm gonna roll with on that. Countertop for now. I think we'll just keep it black, like a black marble or a black stone of some sort. Our spa, I also thought it would be cool for the spa to actually give it a bit of a raise. I kind of went back and forth on that, but let's kick it up to 18 inches, so 1 foot 6 inches. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's a little more dynamic. So our spillway, you can see it spilling into our coping. So just come into there and just kick it in a little bit. Maybe we'll kick it in like a foot on each side. When you're doing a design, as many of you probably know, you have to think of like practicality. Obviously, it would look cool if that just went straight to that point, but obviously you'd have water running out of the pool, so you don't want to do that. So a little bit of a wing wall on the side is okay. I think it still looks pretty sweet. And you get this awesome sheet of water coming off of the spa, which is cool. Our grass, let's see here. Yeah, we have the 3D still on the grass. Okay, we kind of have the main components of our design together. One thing I always like to add to the spa is steam. So go to the steam, get it in there. I'll have to remember to cut that out. I like to drop the steam down low, because I don't like this much steam is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I think they should have made the steam a little more subtle in this program, but I like just when a little bit is kind of coming off the top, kind of like that. So yeah, that's cool. And then for our barbecue area, we need some stools. So let's find some nice stools. I'm gonna use everything that exists already in Structure Studios for this today. In the future video, I'll show you guys how to import custom objects. So for things like stools, you can find pretty cool furniture in the program, but again, it's limited. So for things like stools, I'll often go and import a custom object. But in this case, we'll just use this. I don't know. We have a lot of black and white going on, so maybe we'll introduce some wood. That looks super weird. Let's see. Another thing you can do is actually make it metal. Let's see how that looks. Just change it up a little bit. What if we went with kind of like a brass stool? Does that even exist? I don't know. Gold's kind of sick. The practicality of this, I don't know. Potential spam. You guys get inundated with spam calls like I do. Stainless steel painted. I don't know. What do you guys think of the jet black stool? Is it too much black going on? I don't know. I think that looks kind of cool. Let's just roll with that for a minute. So I like to go to 2D mode if you're gonna throw some stools around the barbecue. I don't know, on this side maybe just 2 is good. Is that practical? We'll throw some more over here. We got to get a barbecue on it. Let's go in here, exit off of that, and go to, I'm gonna save. I'll move my face, items. I wish I could move my screen recorder. You guys can't see it, but there's a play and stop button right here, and it's blocking my options. Outdoor kitchens, let's select them all. We'll have our barbecue grill. I like to show it open because I'll show you why here in a moment. We'll rotate this. Move it in like that. It's looking pretty good. And then the reason I like to have the open grill is if you go to, just type in fire up here. Whoop, fire, not 4. And there's a couple different fire options they have. If you notice with this one, strip gas, it doesn't throw off any light. You can see around the fire there's no like glow. So get off of that, go to normal gas, and you see how it introduces some light to the scene. I think that's pretty cool. It gives it a bit of like realism to it. We don't need it to be as big as it is. Let's go down to like, I don't know, 8 inches maybe. It doesn't need to be that tall either. There you go. Something like that is good. And that for the nighttime scenes, you'll kind of see that glowing back there. That'll look kind of cool. For the back of the barbecue here, we're not really going to show that in the render most likely, so you don't need to go in and throw fridges and doors. You can if you want, but just think of ways you could save time. And if you're not going to show the render from the back, you don't need to add all that stuff. A cool component back here would obviously be like a TV on the wall. So let's get a TV, and there's ways you could add custom scenes on the TV, which I could show you guys in a future video too. So if your customer's like really into hockey or baseball, you could throw like hockey or baseball on the TV. Go to scale. Let's throw a big boy in there. Thing is massive. All right. And for the TV, I don't know. Maybe something like that. Let's bring it off the wall a little bit. Should we center it on the wall, even though it's behind the barbecue a little bit? Yeah, that looks a lot better, huh? We'll go with that. So it's coming together a little bit. Let's go to house up here, and we'll throw in some doors. So we need a garage door. Maybe maybe a door like this. Glass, is that practical or no? Seems like a short door, doesn't it? Let's see. Oh yeah, so I have this one door in here. If you just go to this door, you can come down here and hit replace, and it'll replace what you have selected. I think that's kind of cool. And then let's go in and make it black. Like so. Let's bring in a window. Actually, while we're on this, just go ahead and select that with your, you have to be in items, select it, copy, and then paste. Let's bring them over here too. We'll just have matching doors. Now if this was for a real client, you'd want to kind of match the windows and stuff obviously to their real house. So I'm not going to get crazy on that. It's not a real design. So let's just go back to house, insert window, just slap a window in there like that, and then you could go in and change the size. So the width, let's go with like a 5 foot by 4 foot. We'll do something like that. For the pane count, we'll go ahead and take out 2 rows, but we'll add a column like that. And let's take our door paint. I don't like the way that looks. Let's go here and let's go to stainless steel black, and that's more of a deep kind of shine black. Let's add that to our window as well. Is that looking cool? We'll add that to this too, this door, and then go ahead and just take that window and copy it and paste it down here. Let's just look at the house really quick. We have time, so why not do it? I find it again on Realtor? Let's see here. No. Carnell, Whittier, yes. Okay, so we have a door, oh, all the way to the side. Window, door, window, window. We'll just try to get as close as possible. Door, window, door. Let's just do, sometimes you'll have like a bathroom window that's kind of small and what am I doing? Let's see. I'm trying to pick up the pace now because this video is going to be so long. Alright, let's see. Height, 2 feet, 3 feet. Kick it up there. Let's go with something like that. That's cool, whatever, something like that. We should probably get a window. Do we want a window on the garage, or maybe we could do maybe we could do a little planter right there. Let's see. Let's hit save. We have 5 feet from the house to the garage. Let's go to hardscape. We'll put like a really narrow planter right in here, like 1.5 feet. Let's go to -1.5. Let's go to material, go to earth at the top, just throw in some black mulch or something. That's cool. Let's go to plants. I'm actually going to go to my favorites because I have them in here. But you can see the name and search for it if you want to use the same plant. I like these junipers. Drop them down. Scale, bring them down in size. So that's super tight with that size. With that size planter. I think they have another one here, the Italian cypress. How's that? That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a lot better. So let's roll with that, make it a little bit taller. It's okay if it goes into the house, the edge of the house a little bit, just like that. I love these kind of vertical plants. I just think they add a really nice feel to the design. And then in between the verticals, I like to throw in a smaller plant of some sort. So you could do kind of, what would be cool in between there? I like these guys. These ones. I like the color of them. They're kind of like a drab green. And then with these plants, they're not super close, but you could take them, and I like to throw a little rotation on them, just so they're not perfectly the same. I think that's looking kind of cool. Maybe we'll go ahead, go into this mode, because you can do it a lot faster. Select these plants, Control click. That's how you'll copy them all. Hit copy, hit paste, and then we're gonna rotate them like that. Let's throw them on this back wall here. It's close enough, I guess. See how they look. Is that cool? I think it's cool. So we'll go ahead and copy them. Paste. And just, we'll put them down the whole length of this wall. That's probably far enough. So let's go back to that mode. View it. Yeah, so you just want to keep in mind, like, hey, where's my render gonna view? There's no need to put more plants down the side there because you can't even see it. The next thing that's cool is we'll add some lighting in between those plants. And I like this light right here. It's called Type 1. It's a deck light. Now, these might not be the most practical in the flower bed realistically, but just for the sake of the render, I kind of like it. So, turn on during the day. Let's do that. Copy, paste. And we're just going to paste them in between each plant like that. We'll come over here and do the same thing. Raise it up a little bit. You can go into 2D mode and do it faster like this. Let's make it a little dark so we can see this lighting, see how it's looking. Isn't that sweet? Yeah, that looks killer. And you got the glow of the barbecue right there. We'll get some lighting underneath this covered patio as well. And of course we need some lighting in the pool. So let's do that really quick. Go back to items. I know sometimes these screen recordings can be darker than they are also, so I hope you guys can actually see this. Let me make it a little bit brighter. Let's do something like that, I guess. Screw it. We'll just go dark. Alright. On my favorites, I have my lights in here. Again, LED pool light. This is basically a nicheless light. We could go up here to snaps. I have no snaps on. I'm going to turn them on just for a moment because it makes it a lot easier to add a light to the pool. Go under the water line, bring it in like that. And you always want to have your lights facing away from the main house. So something like that is cool for that. Let's go ahead and add one on the Baja shelf too. Whoop. On the Baja shelf, we'll bring it down to like something like that. When you use a darker plaster in this program, it doesn't illuminate the pool a whole lot. Sorry guys, I'm going all over the place. We'll add a couple in here. Whoop. That's cool. Again, it doesn't light up the pool all that much. Maybe we can make it more dramatic, and we'll add select the lights. Let's select them and hit LED color replace. That helps a little bit. It adds a little more no, it doesn't. I like the white. I like the white one. All right, let's go ahead and throw some lighting on the side of the house. Do I have any saved in here? No. So let's go to items. Go to lights. And the lights I like to use, they have a couple different options. I kind of like these guys right here. I just think they're kind of cool. Let's throw a couple of those on. Let's do something like that. We could even go do it underneath our patio cover. I mean, for the patio cover, you'd probably just have recessed lights in the top. But this is okay for right now. And then our patio space over here is kind of tight. So normally it would be nice to have like a couch or something in here. Where am I looking? Here we go. I'm gonna hit save again. So we can look at that in a moment. For our concrete pads, let's go ahead and add some more of these lights. And we'll go ahead and add them in between the stepping pads. So we'll do something like that. And again, if you go into the 2D mode, that's going to be a lot easier. The practicality of these lights and the stepping pads as a builder kind of stressed me out a little bit. But they do look really cool, so it could obviously be done. The lights are just exposed to so much moisture, and they don't hold up super well. You want to use good lights in this case, one that comes with a nice warranty. I know Inlight has like a 5-year warranty. I mean, but that adds a really cool look. And our back wall here is kind of blank, but maybe that's okay. I don't know. We have a lot of plants going on this side, so maybe that blank wall is fine right there. I'm gonna hit save. Let's get some recessed lights. Some of these bad boys. Bring them up. Just zoom in. And you want to get as close as possible to the top like that. Go to 2D mode. And then just disperse them. I think like one row over here, since we have these two lights, I think one row of recessed lights here is probably sufficient. I'm just gonna throw 3 of them. You know what? No, we'll do 2 rows. Let's kick these right here, and then we'll put another set over these bar stools. It'll kind of light those up. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Our bar stools are crazy. They're kind of fun though. Let's find a cool couch to throw over there. So let's go to furniture. Let's go to furniture, and let's see here. You want to find something that will fit in that space and not be too awkward. Maybe you could do like some tall cocktail tables, but there's so much bar seating right here. I think having a couple couches would be cool, even if they're just kind of single chairs or something. Let's find something cool. Sometimes you just have to drop stuff in and see how they fit. Like, yeah, that's way too tight. Something like that's cool. Let's keep looking though. Well, that's cool. That kind of ties in with our brass stools. You could even just do like a big sofa. Maybe that's what we'll end up doing. Let's go ahead and rotate this like so. Nah, this is way too big. Alright. Something like this might work. Let's see how this goes. Let's rotate that like this. Alright. This chair, I think we probably just get rid of that one. Let's go ahead and I hate how it does that. That's one of my pet peeves with this program is when you click off something or onto something, it redirects the camera. It's like, no, just let me do that. We don't need the coffee table. Let's kick our side table a little bit deeper in here. I can scoot this chair in like that. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's replace that chair with a three piece. Could do that. Move these tables in a little bit tighter. Or a lot tighter, so they're actually functional. Something like that's probably fine enough. And then the wood, I would just select it all and maybe like desaturate it, something like that. Make that a little bit brighter. Maybe make the pillows a color of some sort. I like to use kind of desaturated colors. Something like that looks kind of cool, I guess. It's not too bad. When it comes to putting in furniture, you could just get crazy. I mean, you could add candles, you could add a ton of stuff. As far as the basic design goes, I think we basically did it, guys. This is more or less what you're going to be doing. One little component that we didn't do is you'd want to go to the hardscape mode, go to your rectangle tool, and throw in some dirt back for this planter, like that. And then go ahead and add another piece, and this will be our grass. And then go into 3D. I'm going to turn off my graphics to try to save my laptop a little bit. Go to material, just copy our turf from this side, Command C, and then Command V, or Control, excuse me, Control V. I used to be a graphic designer and I worked on a Mac, so I still say Command. But yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Let's go back to this mode and let's just look at it during the day. Let's turn our graphics back on. I mean, I think that's a nice design. It's pretty sweet. I'm glad we raised the spa up. This style deck would basically just be a poured cantilever deck. You don't see these a lot in Southern California. A lot of guys don't do them. I think a lot of people forgot how to do them properly. That's a whole other topic though. When you do poured in place coping, you pour it directly on top of the pool bond beam, and it bonds to it. And then you'd have a joint, an expansion joint in between the coping and whatever deck you pick. But when you do a deck like this, where the concrete is completely like monolithic and cantilevered over the side of the pool, you don't want to pour that directly on top of the pool bond beam, because as things shift, they crack. So as the pool drops a little bit, or the concrete moves, they're locked into one another, and it doesn't let them move, so they crack. So you get a lot of cracking along the edge here. So you have to put in what's called a slip joint at the top of the bond beam that lets the deck move separate from the pool, and that's the way to do it. So this deck style is really popular, like in Palm Springs, in Central California. That's all my dad does, are these kinds of decks. But I noticed, I reached out to a couple concrete companies in Orange County, and they were afraid to do this style deck because they say it always cracks. I was like, well, how do you do it? And he told me, this one gentleman told me, and he told me they pour it just how I kind of explained it, without the slip joint though. I'm like, well, that's why they're cracking. Anyway, sorry, that's a little rant. But yeah, let's go over here quick. Let's pick this grass and let's make it 3D. That helps so much. And then really quick, I'll just show you, I think I'll do another whole video on this topic, but go to presentation mode and you want to go to video. Now if you want to send your client a video, this is what you're going to do. I have this set to story mode for Instagram, but you want to go here, 1080p HDTV, and that's going to give you a standard viewing screen. Make sure you have lens flare activated. You can see that on and off. That helps a lot. And you can change your lens. So if you're in a really tight space, you want to use a wider lens. See that? And that shows a lot more of your design. Sometimes you don't want to do that though. Sometimes if you have a really big scene, a really big open landscape, doing this can just make things look too small. So this is kind of a standard lens type right here, and you can still use, like for this backyard, you could definitely still use this. I want to show you one thing. Normally with my renders, I would pop some trees out around the property just to kind of make it look filled in, so you don't see this generic background. But yeah, let me show you one thing. When you make your videos, this is you're gonna set a position point for your camera. So basically, I'll show you really quick. If I set a point right here, right, I set that point, move your camera to another area like this. I gotta move my face just like that, and then hit preview. It's gonna show you from point A to point B, that view. Now this is cool, but you could do things like, here I said I'm going to do another video, and here I'm already talking about it, but you could do things like change the sun position. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Hit this camera to reset it. Now it has the new lighting. And then you could also go to the clouds, cloud phase, change that. Now the clouds are going to move as the camera moves. So hit preview. You see the clouds moving up here. So that camera moves a little too slow. So that's 9.6 seconds. Change it to like 5 seconds. Also, I'm going to go back to my sun and make it dark again, or darker rather. So it's a more of a dramatic change in the scene. See how much more dramatic that is? You can see our steam coming off the spa. So yeah, that's cool. You could do that. You could do things like this too. If you're down, say you're viewing from like this area, get down close to like the stool here, the f-stop, decrease that, and it's going to add kind of a depth of field. You could hit this little target button and you could pick what you want it to focus on. See how that's changing? So when you do that with your videos, that really helps add a bit of a sense of realism to the video, having that blur. You don't want to do it too much, but just enough. Just try to kind of focus on the front here and see how blurred it is. Something like that is cool. And then let's do another scene, and we're going to make this a hard cut because we don't want it to move from this scene to this scene. That's one thing I see a lot of people do. They make this camera just move all over, all crazy, and it just looks kind of cheesy in my opinion. But again, that's just personal taste. There's not really a right or wrong way. Let's move the sun a little bit. I like to have the sun move in every scene, even if it's just a little bit. Hit that, and then you can see this camera angle. It's gonna go around the spa and kind of show the cascade there. That's cool. So now you can just hit preview, watch the whole thing. It's good to mix up the day and nighttime scenes. And then another cool scene to do. See, that camera's moving a little too slow. You want these things to move like in 3 to 6 second, 3 to even 5 second increments. Otherwise, they just move too slow. But another cool shot is a nighttime shot from above if you have nice lighting going on. And what you can do is make it blurry at the start of the video, right? That's kind of cool. Let's do a hard cut on this and just have it zoom in slowly like this. Increase your f-stop so it's focused in like that. Hit it. Let's do like 2.5 seconds. So that's gonna just kind of slowly come into focus, which is kind of sweet. So you could start a video like that, you could end it like that. Obviously you could just get really creative with it. I think that's it for this video, guys. Having this design just crash on me, that kind of threw me off, but I hope this was enough, especially if you're a beginner, to just help you along the way. I was making sure my screen recording didn't stop. Help you get started in the program. Hopefully this was a good just base knowledge type video. I know a lot of you guys do even your designs are awesome. And you probably know a lot more than even I do on this program. So if you guys have any knowledge to share, like in the chat, the community tags, or I think you could even comment on the course maybe. Share your knowledge. Let us know your thoughts, and let's just all help each other out. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, take care.